guys, welcome back to the channel. Today's video is gonna be a little fun. The people I work for, the marina I work for, it's also a yacht club. It's a pretty big place. It's a big destination on Lake Erie. We've got our own golf course, a couple restaurants, the harbors, where the boats are and everything. Sorry about that. I am at work right now. The forklift was just going by, so it got a little loud. Like I said, we've got multiple stuff here. It's a pretty unique place on Lake Erie. And the boaters, the dockers, they have different events throughout the year. And tonight is what they call Harbor Lights. And it's where they get out and dress up their boats, the docks, put lights all over, and have a little party. Let's face it, it's an excuse to get out, have some fun, and drink. Not that you really need an excuse when you're in vacation land, Ohio, but it's an excuse to do that. And every year there's a theme. This year's theme is kind of a spooky theme. They're referring to it as Stouffers Revenge, which Mr. Jim Stouffer, he's the owner of the club and everything, my big boss. So they invited me up because, well, what's more spooky than a hearse, right? And I agreed. So I've been trying to get a lot of little things done. As you can see, we have some interior panels in. I'll show you guys a little bit more of that here in a minute. And I got some lighting outside of the silly little string light that's hanging up there. I did get the undercar lighting done. I do want to add a little bit more to it. It's those rock lights. You can get them on Amazon. I think they're meant more for like off-road vehicles. But they're just like the pods. Instead of being the long tubes or anything like traditional underglow, they're just little pucks, more or less, that you can either self-adhere. It's a self-sticky double-sided tape. There we go. Words are hard. Double-sided tape up there, or they got some holes where you can put some self-drilling screws. That's how I mounted them. I got 8 pucks underneath the car right now. Pretty much from the rear axle forward is fairly covered. From the rear axle back needs a little bit of help. But I also have that bright, obnoxious green license plate light in the back that lights up the whole back of the car. So it's good enough for tonight. Like I said, I did do a little bit of dress up on the interior. And let me show you guys that. So I was able to somewhat clean up the curtains and all the door panels of the car. They are pretty stained. I probably could do a better job of cleaning them, but for time being, they'll be fine. And cleaned up back here. Got the other door panel and curtain in. Threw a couple pillows back here just to give it a much better look. Got the big air tank in, and for giggles, I went ahead and threw my other 2 compressors on. I know it's a little excessive, but hey, I have roughly a 1-minute recovery time from 160 to 200. Moving to the back again, door panels, curtains, and I put the coach panels back up. Now I do plan on redoing all of these. These side panels right here are beat up, twisted. They don't sit right at all, and they're not big enough. I want them to continue all the way up to the partition wall on both sides and drop down. And then got the wheel well covers back in. Obviously the big 10-gallon. I'm really happy with the color of paint. I know it looks just green in the picture or in the camera right now, but it's actually that, they call it the chromatic. It's a duplicolor color shift, I guess. You can kind of see the purple down there, but it goes green to purple. Looks cool back here because that is pretty darn close to the green I want to paint the rest of the car. Moving up front, one of the big things that annoyed the living daylights out of me about this car is it was missing that grab handle. I was able to go get a door panel that, while it's not perfect, it's in a lot better shape. As you can tell, this is actually a sedan door panel, a sedan switch. We have the useless back window switches there, but that's fine. I also was able to get the gauge pod mounted. Gauge pod is kind of a fun story. Gauge pod is also one of those little projects I started filming, and things went south on me with that project, and I stopped filming. The little 1/8 inch female pipe to 1/8 inch push to connect fitting for the tank gauge went bad on me. I didn't realize it. I put all the lines back in, put the pod on the dashboard, located it, ran my screws down on the dashboard because this dashboard's busted to hell. I really don't care about putting 5 more holes in the dash. That's why it's up there. It's a nice eyesight. I'm actually using it to hold my camera up right now, so you can see as I'm sitting in the car, I can see my gauges perfectly. Get it all assembled. I'm happy. I go back, I turn the compressors on, and I start doing something else. And all of a sudden I hear, oh, that's not good. Sure enough, 1/8 inch airline pops out of the back of the gauge. I thought maybe I just didn't push it in all the way. So I take the whole thing apart, push the line back in, give it a tug, it stays. Put the pod back in place, do it all over again. Turn the compressors back on, hit about 180, 185, pop. Put it back in there again. This time I don't bolt the gauge pod down and fire the compressors up. Same story. 185, blows the line right out every time. This time I'm pushing it and I'm really pulling on it, and I can pull it right back out. Crap. And unfortunately, I live in northern Ohio. I don't have AVS right down the corner from me. I do have Elusive Fabrication, but this was late at night and I needed a quick answer. The good news is Viair, the company that makes the compressors and other air ride components, they have a storefront on Amazon. So you can get a lot of Viair components either next day or second day shipping. So got 2 new fittings, DOT, proper, and got that all put together, and it has been holding just fine. So yeah, I think that's all the current updates really. I know it's not a whole lot, but it's taken me a while. But again, sometimes I get a cigarette break. I hear the forklift. Sometimes I get a half hour. Sometimes I get a couple hours to work on this car. I also have the switch panel. It's going to go right here in my center console. Forklift. One of the things we do here, offer rack services. Pick boats up with forklifts and go plunk them in the water. Anyway, they said I have a really nice gauge panel, or not gauge, I'm sorry, a switch panel that's going to go right here in the center console. It'll still allow me to fold the center console up and everything, but it's going to control all the auxiliary features of the car. Things like the overhead beacon light, it's going to get wired to that, the air raid siren. When the partition wall gets done, the little buttons that run the glass up and down, they'll be there. The button to purge the air tanks, stuff like that, all in that little panel. And it's got a nice little voltage display so I can keep an eye on my voltage in the car. Because one of the downsides, especially in the 90s, is Cadillac figured its owners don't need to know anything about what their Cadillac is doing. If it's running and there's no lights on, there's no problem. If the light comes on, just take it to the dealership. We'll take care of it for you. I like gauges personally. I like to see what my engine temperature is. I like to see what my oil pressure is. I like to see that stuff early That way, if I notice a trend over a couple days where my engine's running consistently a couple degrees warmer, not enough to turn the light on, but I am seeing a slightly warmer engine temperature, I know I might be low on coolant. I might have a bad fan relay. Been there already once since this car's been on the road. Things like that, you know. Oil pressure gauge would be nice. Stuff like that. I will eventually do that to this car probably. But for right now, at least having the voltage gauge right here will be nice. So on that note, I think I'm gonna run to the store real quick, get a few little necessities, and then we'll take you guys up north. It's about 6:45 right now. We got about an hour and a half before it gets dusk. So I'm gonna get this car in position and partake in some of the shenanigans. And then, yeah, I'll bring you guys back once it gets to be a little bit towards dusk, show off all the boats, and hopefully we'll stick around for judging and see if the old Deadwood is enough to give a dock, which is the dock that I am supporting, give them enough for the win this evening. We don't win anything but bragging rights, but still, it'd be cool. So I'll see you guys when it gets a little darker out. All right, we got her in place. Got her all sitting around, and I know no one will probably show up, but you know, we gotta advertise Rehearse Fest. But got her sitting out here. Let's go check out some of the docks, see how the docks are doing out here. It's getting a little darker. The harbor's starting to light up a little bit more. Got some spooky music playing, and got her all laid out. Let's go check out some more boats. Hey guys, editing the video, I realized I never filmed an outro last night. It got pretty late. I was kind of tired. It had been a long day at work and then extra hours up there for the harbor lights. So I kind of just took off and came home and didn't even think to film an outro. So with that, I hope you enjoyed the footage. It was pretty cool. It was really neat being invited to something like this, being more of a boater, yachtsman thing, and everybody having a very positive response to the Deadwood. Again, I don't know if you guys can kind of tell in the video, the clientele that I work for, it's not exactly a working class marina by any means. We got some pretty high-end boats in the harbor. Yeah, even he thinks so. And really not generally the crowd. You think so? He thinks so. Not generally the crowd that you would see converging around a funeral coach. Excuse me, sir. We're filming. You know how this works. You edit he edits the videos, by the way, guys. He's the editor. Yeah. You better edit that out. But it was really fun being around all the boats and everything in a non-work related environment. Mama's at work. Mama's at work. Drink your juice. I need more juice, huh? But anyway, thank you so much for watching. Anyway, big thank you to Paula Chester. She's the dock captain for ADOC. She's the one who invited me out there. Huge thank you to the Stouffers family for hosting the event and also employing me. That's a big thanks. And putting up with my shenanigans. I actually was able to get a really cool picture with them. He thinks it's hilarious. Yeah, you're a mess, dude. You are a mess. This is why I don't get anything done, guys. Yeah, I hope you enjoyed it. I'm gonna get this edited out and get it posted for you. As always, take care. See you in the next video. Say bye. Say bye.